this microphone actually picks up pretty well.
Oh,
So if you
good.
just speak with diction, use your theater voice,
I'll do my very best and probably irritate the surrounding booths.
that's fine. So introduce yourself. You're on YouTube. You're live.
Oh dear, what have you done? I'm Corbin Barker, and I've designed a game. That's pretty much the gist of it. It plays like a cross between traditional trading card games and chess.
Okay.
And it's got 4 different win conditions actually, but for demonstration purposes I like to stick to knockout. It's fairly simple. The first hit on the enemy headliner wins.
Get a good picture of that. Okay.
And about those headliners, they are the leader of your deck, and they have your resources. This number down here sort of behaves like your mana at number 12. And it is what you use to pay all of your costs.
It looks like I'm playing a Killen.
Yeah, kill.
Killen.
They're playing the fire deck right now.
And he's playing, how do you pronounce his name?
Soljet. It's a water deck. Yeah, I know, it's a bunch of baddie names, but that's fun of fantasy, right?
Yep.
So let me show you how the cost system works. Basically, if I want to play a card that costs 6, I put it next to something I already control, up, down, left, or right,
Right.
and that takes 6 out of 12, and I have 6 remainder for the turn.
Okay.
Simple
And
enough.
you just keep track of that in your head, or you put like
Yeah.
a D12 on it?
I usually just keep track of it in my head, mostly because everything is either 4s, 6s, or some even multiple of 12. It's not really that hard.
Okay.
And I could pay its cost again to move it from one zone to the other, to turn it to face a different direction, or to assert with it, which is sort of what this game's attacking is. And let me show you how that works. So let's say this one asserts against this one. It will deal its 1 assert damage versus this thing's 2 resist, which means the defender will get a single damage counter, and then will retaliate for his 1 assert against his 1 resist, which is equal to or greater than, so it's gone. The fun of it is, when you hit from the side or from the back, this deals no damage in return.
Okay.
So you're constantly trying to outflank and outposition your opponent. And that's more or less the whole game.
What a pleasure. Thank you very much, sir. It sure was nice to work with you. I would do that again in a heartbeat.
And we got, hopefully got some good, you're following my Bob Allen?
I am now.
On
You will be in a minute.
Okay.
Let me jot down. You get back to your game. I'll jot down my email address so that we can stay in touch. Do you have a website?
On Facebook.
That's okay. While he's doing that, I can go fetch my business card.
Oh, sweet. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
This is a casual live stream.
Yeah. Popcorn people. Somewhere. Oh, they're in here. Yes. That is what I'm looking for. And make sure you look at the back of that card. Remembering it on the shelf.
You're gonna eat that.
Are you going to eat that?
You'll
I
be
will.
surprised what I will
Do what?
eat. You'll be surprised what I will
I got weight to maintain, my friend. Thank you very much. What a pleasure. I'll see you soon.
eat. Okay. What is this you got? Is this okay?
Yes.
Oh, we
And all my contact information is also on the website, so...
Okay.
Alright, on to the fun bit. This is your draw deck, nicely pre-shuffled. And we draw a 5-card starting hand.
So you set it face up, right?
Face down. And would you mind if I took the first turn?
No, not at all.
Alright, so the player to take the first turn starts off with 8 instead of 12, just to kind of slow things down a little bit for the first turn player. So what I'm going to do is spend 4 of it to play Water Spirit, and then spend 4 more to move it up.
And why did you play it in that direction? Or could you, when you played it, could you have chosen to play it?
Yes, I could choose to play it in any which direction, and right now it doesn't really matter because I don't know which side you're going to be coming from, but I want it to be facing your stuff if possible. And I'll end my turn, and at the end of my turn, I'll restore my hand to 5 cards. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know it's a bit overwhelming at first.
I have the open box of that if you'd like to see what this looks like.
Well, if it would be easier, we could play with hands open and I could do a bit of coaching.
Sure, because we got
Okay.
6s and some 0s.
Alright, so what you've ended up with is actually quite a good starting hand. So what you can do for an opening move is you could play this, it costs 6, right next to your headliner.
Right.
And you could leave it at that if you wanted to, or you could spend your remaining 6 to move it up and try to block me off. Or if you really wanted to get aggressive, you could play this card. And what this card, this is a support card. What it allows you to do, you just activate it, declare its targets, and it goes away. And in this case, what White Dawn does specifically is you pick an allied unit and something next to it, and then you can move them both for free. So if you really wanted to, you could activate that and then move both of them up, or move this up and this one out, or any combination thereof.
Okay. So does that seem like a good starting move?
If
I'd have to discard 2 cards.
You would have to discard 2 cards, but since the deck is built to run cards like that, this card can function as 2 when discarded.
Okay.
What I would do if I were in your place is I would probably just move it up and then wait to see what I did. Because that can be a really shifty, turny card.
And then I
restore until you have 5.
I do have an open box that we check out and play, or we just recorded a live stream on YouTube. No. In my library. And that is a good box. Space Game, expansion, Outer Belt expansion, and all the expansions to the expansions. And I have all of this content is actually in there. And our checkout is on the honor system. I don't know. So I just put your name and Alien Frontiers. That's it. Alright.
And how much are you on?
That's a $200.
Do you have some that don't have
No.
everything? You just have everything on?
The reprint, the 5th edition of that is not due out to this year.
Okay.
Multitasking.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You're fine.
Okay, sorry about that. So,
Okay, so it's my turn, and I don't know how well you can see it from where you're sitting, but I've got quite a few big things and no really quick, striking plays. So what I'm going to do is continue to try to wall up by playing Rucka for 6 and Emmer for 5. And the more cards you play, the more cards you draw, so it's always in your interest to play if you can. And I'll draw 2 more to end my turn.
okay. So, So it cost me 6 to turn and 6 to move, right?
That's correct. Most of the fire type cards are very big, which is why their support cards cost nothing. And now that I've inched closer, I am sort of in the danger zone. You could counterattack now if you wanted to.
How can I do that?
Okay, so these two cards let you move and attack for free respectively at the cost of discarding your hand. This is another unit that you can play, and if you wanted to, you could play it right here, or here, depending on what kind of formation you wanted.
So if I played it here, and then this gives me to move for free.
Yeah.
So if I did that, discarding this guy, right?
Uh-huh.
But then I don't have two cards. I can't do both.
You can't do both.
I don't have enough cards for both. But I don't need both because I played 5.
Uh-huh.
So
And you still
is
have 7 left over if you play White Dawn.
You may assert, or also I play that. So yeah. So yeah, I could do the White Dawn. It'd be better to discard these two to get more cards, or are these good to keep and just discard this one for
I
free?
would go ahead and discard that one since that's pretty much all it's good for.
Okay.
And now you can move both of these once, and that includes turning.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, you could... I don't really have anything in my hand that will let me sweep over here and take you out really fast.
Okay.
So what you could do
Okay.
is, once that's activated, it's sort of gone.
Okay.
You could turn this to face any oncoming threat and then move this over so that, let's say, for instance, if I set up here for next turn, you can set up on me. And if I try to push my way up the middle, you'll have 2 different answers depending on which one you think is better.
But I wouldn't want to just move here.
You could.
Okay, for free.
If you moved here,
And then I have enough to take that guy out.
you do. That would also be a very viable move. You
Why
want to
would
do
I
that?
not want to do that?
Well, they're facing each other, so you would take 1 damage, but you hit harder, so it really, there's not much of a disadvantage
He's
to it.
dead, and I would have 1 point of damage.
Yes.
Okay?
Is that what you're gonna do?
Sure.
Okay, so swing for that. This is gone, and you have a point of damage. He's a little bit vulnerable next turn, but not too bad.
How do you get that? How do you heal your damage?
There aren't very many cards that do that. There's no base mechanic that does it.
Okay, so I heal back up.
Yep.
Okay.
And you're getting a lot of support cards, which is kind of a shame because you don't have a lot of units yet, but the good part is as soon as you play a support card, you're going to flush out your hand again.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and now I'm sort of in a pickle. So instead of doing anything crazy offensive, I'm going to activate a card called Nihilus' Research, which lets me rearrange the top cards of either my deck or yours. The top 4. I'm going to go with my deck because I have a little combo that goes with it. Okay. And the combo is to then activate my Headliner's special ability, which is to discard 1 card and draw. So I'll discard this, and then draw the card I just put on the top of my deck. And so I've spent 4 so far. I'm going to play Water Spirit here and move it up. And now I'm set up to attack you next turn.
Okay.
So I'll end my turn, draw 2, and it's your go.
Okay. So, okay.
I know it all looks a bit confusing.
No, I know what I want to do. I think I want to use the White Dawn thing.
I'm gonna give this back to you because we found out someone in our group has a copy of it.
Okay.
And that way, if anybody else, we can check it out from them.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Let me get your card. This card. Okay.
So right now, this guy is a huge threat. Next turn I will end the game if you don't stop me.
Well, I am stopping. Very easy. I'm moving for free.
Okay.
I'm moving for free.
Now hang on. In order for White Dawn to affect more than one target, they have to be next to each other. That is
Oh,
up,
okay.
down, left, or right.
Okay. So I remove him for free.
Okay, and you do have to discard 2 to do that. I would recommend these 2 since they're not very good in this kind of game mode.
Right.
Alright, so far you've spent 0.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and attack that one.
Alright, you're going to attack it. Now, normally I would deal retaliation damage, but your headliner has his own special ability, and what he does is anyone next to him or him himself, they just don't take retaliation damage, period.
Cool. Okay, so I've used 6.
You've used 6.
And what else can you do? I don't have 2 more cards to give her. I move in here.
You could. And
With that block thing, because now you're sideways, you have to turn and so hit my side.
I would have to turn to hit your side. Now, you are vulnerable from the side, so if I do choose to do that, I would hit you, but it would cost me extra points to do so. So it just depends whether or not you want to maybe move him back to get more board presence, or move him forward to slow me down.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And now you redraw, and surely to goodness gracious, this time you'll get, there we go, some extra units. Well, 1 extra unit. Okay. So now I have to do something to deal with this threat, because you are 2 spaces away from ending the game against me. So what I think I'm going to do is pay 8 to play Phalanx, who is very big and strong. He's a big 3/3.
Okay.
Not particularly swift, but he's big. And then I will pay my last 4 to play Lance here and set up to attack you next turn. That ends my turn, and I draw 2 more.
Now, Lance doesn't do any damage.
He doesn't do any damage until he's in a fight. Then his damage goes up for the rest of the turn. So the more he attacks, the more damage he does.
So if I attack him, he doesn't. So he still has to retaliate.
He will still be able to hit back for 1 point of damage if you attack him head on. But if you attack him from the side, no, he won't do a thing.
Okay.
I end my turn and draw 2.
So.
So once again, you have a myriad of options.
So what's a Craig class unit?
You can tell their class by this tiny piece of print right
that's
there.
a Craig.
Or if that's
Okay, that's a Craig. Okay.
the easier way to tell is basically all the big dragonoids are Craig.
3. Okay, choose up to 3 allied Craig class cards. Deal up to 3 effect damage to any unit in their assert zone.
Yep, so any unit in front of your Krages.
Which right now I have nothing.
Right now you have nothing, but it's a good card to hold because it's the closest thing this game has to a board wipe. You can drop 3 units for the cost of 6, and that's pretty good.
Alright. When the opposing striker confronts this card, you may discard a fire type card and spin this striker. Spinning up local terrain. So what does this actually do?
Okay, so what that does, let's say, for example, you had for whatever reason put it right here. And I'm like, oh, I'm facing the side of him.
Okay.
I'll just attack him. You can discard a card and spin him to turn and deal retaliation damage.
Okay. But the better thing for me to do, I would think, would be spin 4 to go here.
Absolutely.
Spin 4 to go there.
Yep.
I like.
Now, he doesn't automatically move when you defeat a unit.
Well, I got 4 more.
You do, but
Right.
could I offer a suggestion?
Okay.
So this guy only has 1 resist. You could spend your remaining 4 to move it over here, and then activate this for a free attack.
Oh, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just for these guys. Kaboomy.
And that pretty much clears out my board presence on your side of the map.
But he only attacks for 1. He has 2.
He's got 2 attack, but only 1 resist.
Okay.
And then your hand, of course, restores to 5.
Ooh,
There we go. Now you're getting in some of those very large units.
Unit. Another one of those guys. Okay.
Okay. And now I'm in a bit of trouble because I just lost my sort of element of speed, which is kind of the way water beats fire. I'm not just going to overpower you, so I think I'm going to get on the defensive now. I'll play Speckle for 6 and Emmer for 5.
Okay.
And Speckle's effect is anything in its assert zone that is defeated returns to its owner's hand. So if you destroy my water spirit, it'll come back to my hand.
But you still have to pay its price to get it back.
I still have to pay its price to get it back out. I'll draw 2 to fill out my hand, and it is your turn once again.
Okay. Okay. So
I know what I would do, but you do have a lot of options.
that would use all my points.
A lot to consider, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think I know what I want to do.
Okay.
I spend 4 to go here.
Okay.
Then I spend 6 there.
Yes, you could. Now that does leave you vulnerable from the side.
For 1 point.
But I can attack with them multiple times, remember? It's not part of his effect, it's just you can do anything
because
if you can
up to
pay
4
for it,
points,
yeah.
right. Okay. I don't know if I want to do that either. Because I was just doing that to be able to get to there. But okay, explain that.
Okay, so this thing, it has a cost of 3. That means out of your provide. So you're 12, you have to pay the 3 out of that in order to use this effect. And you also have to discard a card from your hand in order to use the effect.
And what is the effect?
What the effect is it deals 1 damage to a card in this card's assert zone. And the advantage is, if you're face to face, they won't get to deal retaliation damage because that's an effect, it's not an attack.
Okay. Increases resistance of so any of these things are strikers, right?
Yes, anything that is not your headliner is a striker.
So I can when I play that,
Right now, it wouldn't be able to hit anything, but you're in a
but
very...
if I turn this guy, and then I play that,
Then
this guy would hit that by this one, right?
it would deal 3 damage, and this would return to my hand because of Speckle's
Right.
effect.
So it would cost you another. So what would be your advice?
Well, fire is kind of what I like to play. What I would do is, I'm sort of pretending as if I don't know everything you have in your hand. What I would do is I would take these 2 Krage and set them up here, so that next turn, they're pretty tough. If they're still there next turn,
But we got a 3 hit right here.
but he costs 8.
Yep.
Would I spend 8 of my points just to get rid of that guy and take 2 damage in the process? Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't.
Okay.
But if I didn't, you're in prime position next turn to move this up, play the Arknight's Roar and take out 2 of my biggest guys. And
Okay.
considering what I have, I may not be able to recover.
Okay.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is, yeah, that one was there. It turns out I don't really have any units to counterattack on my own. So I'm going to activate my Headliner ability again, to discard and draw. And now I have Water's Big Play. I can only do this once per game because that's all the cards that come in the starter deck for it, but it will give me a chance to not immediately die on your following turn. So the first thing I'm going to do is activate Flow. What that does is 2 things. It lets me search my deck for a card with a ripple effect, and it increases the power of any card that has a ripple effect for the rest of the turn.
Okay.
So the card I'm going to choose is Manifest Blade.
Okay. And you already have one of those.
I already had one of those, but there's no reason not to search your deck and grab another one. That costs 2.
Yeah, I've watched a few videos online. It looks I've watched so many videos. I follow dudeIwantThat.com. Everything that they post, I read everything about it. And I've seen it at all. Well, we're gonna machine shop. We got
And so you get the arrow pits, and I do have the same account from Clubhouse. So it's cheaper to get the arrow pits and these two items than to get the base kit and the booster kit.
right. You said this was 50?
Jeopardy music.
I'm fine.
Do they hold up pretty well?
The thing about the arrows,
The standard wood roadhouse shoot. So it's quite a bit of difference. Let's check it.
and then you can put these 4 letters in
You're here all weekend, right? You're here all weekend, right? Yeah. That's stuff there. Like I said, I've been looking at them for a long time. So, probably not gonna have
So I'm going to play Arknight's Roar and then wipe out all of...
Oh, you turn the board around.
Anyway,
So you played this flow.
I played
got
this,
that,
got
made
that,
it stronger.
Made it stronger. And what I'm going to do is, that cost me 2. I'm going to spend 5 to move up, and then I'm going to spend 2 more to deal 2 damage using Manifest Blade on that guy right there.
So he goes away.
So I've spent a total of 9. And then, let's see, did I math this right? No, not really. But I'm going to activate Soul Jet commands, which allows me to move and attack with 1 unit each for free, or 1 unit for free. So I'll move with this unit, and then I will attack with this unit. So
Okay.
I did indeed end up eating the 2 damage, but avoiding the huge cost. And it's your turn. I can only do that once per game because I do not have enough cards in the starter deck to continuously do that over and over again.
Okay. So. Play 4
Okay.
and back him.
Alright, so they'll both cancel each other out, and you still have 4 left.
Right. And with my 4 left, not much I can do.
Okay. And is that the end of your turn?
Yep. 4, 4, 4. 3 4 is 12.
Okay. You can, if you want to, you could still activate Determination and buff something up to clear out your hand, but that's optional.
So increase the resistance. Cool. I think I want to do that. So I'm going to
Okay.
determine this guy.
Alright, so you'll have to discard 2 in order to do that. Oh, it's an equip card, it stays on him. Yeah. There we go.
2 and 5.
Okay. Well, I'm going to see if I can't cause you some trouble. Play Shiggles for 4. Excuse me. Move for 4 and move for 4. And it is your turn.
Okay. So slow me down a little bit here.
Well, you've definitely got a large number of... Oh, never mind. I screwed up. I'm not going to tell you how, but you can definitely win this turn.
Well, it's very easy. I just play that one for 4, move for 4, and attack for 4, right?
Yes, that is exactly how you win this turn, and I got a little greedy. Good game.
Yay!
So what'd you think?
It's fun.
Glad to hear it. Something you think about picking up?
Right now, my inventory is pretty full.
I can see that. You do have quite a selection.
So, anything you want to say to YouTube before we say goodbye to YouTube? Move your chair closer so they can see you and hear you.
No.
No.
I had fun. That's about all that matters.